Well done, amazing performance, goals everywhere. What was important in terms of the link-ups, the combinations in a team that had so many changes in the starting 11?
No, yeah, I think if you saw the first minutes of the game, I think we had to get into it. And then after, I think we got the first goal, I think it got easier. And of course, we got more space and more time afterwards to find our positions. And then afterwards, I think we were very clinical. The chances we had, we put them away. And then, yeah, it was a nice afternoon after that.
2 goals for you, 2 goals for the guy here next to you. 2 more goals for you, Marcus. How comfortable are you feeling this season? How different does it feel compared to last season? Because we look at you and we see you more confident, maybe.
You know, football's football, and sometimes you have ups, sometimes you have downs. But you know, we have to use these games to find momentum, find consistency, and you know, just try your best to bring your best level in each game.
You know, after the Southampton match, the gaffer said that it's like a ketchup bottle. Once your first goal came out, the rest would come as well. Does it feel a bit like that?
It's early to say, you know, but I hope so. You know, we'll move on to the next game now and just rest, recover, and you know, focus on the next one.
And with the link-ups as well, because you and Garnacho, you were looking for each other all the time. We were just making a joke here if the player of the match would go to you or to Alejandro.
Yeah, I think you know, it's important to have them relationships on the pitch, but I think as a front unit linking with the midfield, I felt we've done very well today. And you know, like Chris said, before the first goal was a little bit difficult, but after the first one, we found better spaces and you know, probably made better decisions in order to score.
How important is it to have not only a win, but a win like this, an expressive win, to gain momentum after a start of the season that was a bit ups and downs?
No, I think when you have those ups and downs, I think it's about getting out of them and obviously staying on top. And I think now we're only 2 games after the down, so we still need to keep going. And it's just a start very early in this season. But obviously this was a cup game, so it was win or lose. So it's nice to score some goals and also give the fans something here on a Tuesday night.
Well done, then. Well done for the goals. Please do the honors.
Well done, mate.
Thank you very much.
I think more importantly, good performances all round.
Yeah. I enjoyed it, watching us. First 15-20 minutes maybe was a little bit complicated, but after that, when we found the right shape and we had some very good football, create some great opportunities, scored some great goals, started with the one from Rashford, the speed, how we speed up in that moment, and from some switches, and then great finish.
Alejandro Garnacho with a couple and 2 different goals. One where he's very quick to react inside the penalty area, and the other one that we know him for, the ability to run into those big distances and score really well.
Yeah, and receive the pass in the right moment, the right timing, but also I think was a brilliant pass to receive. And then he's very cool in front of the goal.
Manuel Ugarte on his full debut today had a difficult first half. They're a very physical side with him. It was a full welcome, wasn't it, to English football?
Yes, as I said, we didn't got the right shape in the start, but it's the first time this side is playing together as a team. And that's normal that you have then to find the right shape. But once we got it, and I think the shape in and out of position were very good, and then looks everything so calm and composed, and that is the way it should be, but that is not so easy to get. Therefore we have to work really hard, not only in the game, but also in the game, but as well as on the training pitch. And there we have to work so hard to let this happen also against bigger, greater opposition.
Was tonight a good example of your football principles, of the rules that you like to set, the inverted fullbacks, the swapping of positions, the constant cover, the passing and moving?
Yes, this is an example. But I think in the past already we showed some more very good performances with great football, so with great goals, some good levels. But we want to grow in this season, and we want to look forward, and we aim for something big in this season. So we have to work very hard. We have to invest as an individual and as a team.
Erik, thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll probably watch the 7 United goals and then we'll go back to it, and it'll still be going on. I mean, overall, that was just very comfortable, obviously.
Yeah, Marcus Rashford alluded to it then. As soon as they figured out where the spaces were and they made better decisions to get there, the goals started coming. And I think that it was a really professional performance for Manchester United. It was really clean, it was tidy. You know, it had a lot of quality at times and lots of players on the score sheet, players who needed goals. So it's been a good night for them.
And Marcus Rashford, who led the line for Manchester United and moved, but I know it's League One opposition, but he moved them about and he ran both channels.
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. Christian Eriksen spoke about it. The first 10 minutes or so, Barnsley got after them, but as soon as this happened, as soon as Manchester United got out of that press and then got up the field, this was concerning for Barnsley. As soon as Marcus Rashford gets in that position, 1v Mark Roberts, he's in all kinds of trouble, and he just goes past him way too easy. But then when you get in that position, can you put it away? He certainly can. He's in great form. When you listen to him there, he spoke about going through a dip in confidence, a dip in form. That's football. That happens. He certainly looks as though he's back to enjoying it, playing through the middle of the field today. But he'd end up on the right, he'd end up on the left. I thought it was absolutely brilliant tonight.
If you talk to United fans, well, I think their frustration with him at times is the season when he scored the 30-odd goal. He was so direct and he just ran and he shot. And I know it sounds very simple, but that lack of confidence at times, it's felt like he's been reluctant to run and reluctant to shoot.
It's the hardest thing in football to put the ball in the back of the net. And I think when you play like Marcus Rashford, if you could describe what his perfect goal would look like, I think it's his first goal tonight. I think that the first touch, he's taken on the full-back, and the finish was absolutely fantastic. And of course, Manchester United fans want to see that in abundance, but there's time, there's space, and there's using it at the right times to your strengths. And it's not always going to happen, but he certainly has players around him that create.
It's not that hard to put the ball in the back of the net if you're Fulham or Preston. I think we're up to 14 all in that.
Thinks I want to score a goal, I want to grab the ball. Was it going to be Marcus Rashford? No, he's taking his stops at home nicely.
And then the other member of the front three tonight got the third just before half-time.
Yeah, Garnacho again. I thought he looked electric at times, and this is just, you know, back to front nice and quick for Manchester United. It's just this picking up the second ball. It's this little pass, first time from Casemiro into Rashford. No messing around, feed the forwards when they're confident, and it's Rashford's sort of intuition to come inside, combine, and just watch here. Look at the way he gets his body shape ready straight away. He's like, bang, give me the ball, I want to make something happen. And it's exactly what he does. Garnacho just tries to sort of get out of his way, stay switched on, stay sharp, and stabs home the third. And a player who's in form, Garnacho, after the weekend.
You talk about being sharp on your toes. That was Manchester United.
Yeah.
They really, really were. The front three, and then Eriksen just behind. And this is again, look, they're in charge of the ball, Barnsley. I'm thinking surely they're going to come out. I said to Izzy at half-time, could end up any score. I was hoping it wasn't going to be 5 or 6. It ends up 7. But look at that one pass, and you see Garnacho. Can he keep calm? Opens his body out and puts it in that position. And it was too easy. And I was hoping at half-time Darrell Clarke was going to make it tighten the team up. You're away from home. You don't want to end up with a cricket score, and this is what it ended. But one pass from Manchester United. As soon as Barnsley pressed them, and Manchester United get out numerous times, and they were so clinical tonight. He should have had his hat-trick as well.
If you are Barnsley and say this is how we play, do you admire that on the one hand, or do you go, maybe you need to adapt?
I think it's twofold. I think they came out. We said before the game, I thought they'd block because, you know, they're at Old Trafford. They thought it'd make it difficult for United, but they didn't. They came out and pressed. You spotted it straight away, getting your door. So they came out and pressed. But what they struggled with in the first half was they'd gone into press, and then when Manchester United broke the press, they actually struggled to retreat into positions where they were actually stable, and that's actually where the first goal came from. They couldn't kind of flip the mindset from pressing to blocking quick enough. And I think in the second half, especially that fourth goal from Garnacho, I think the space they've left him behind is dangerous.
I think you try and give Darrell Clarke as much credit as you can. Think, I'm going to go to Old Trafford. It's his team that he supported. He's going to be stood on that touchline against Erik ten Hag, and I'm going to go toe-to-toe to you. And I sat here before and thinking, You go toe-to-toe with Manchester United, you're going to get hurt. And that's what they did. They tried to. And for 10 minutes, I'm thinking, wow, Barnsley have started really well on the front foot. Can they win the ball back? But that one pass from Manchester United just destroyed Barnsley on numerous occasions.
Their championship season, bit of a hangover from last season. They've changed their manager as well, but they are through to the next round of the Carabao Cup. Right, back to what goal were we at? I forgot where we're at.
Fifth.
We're at the 5th goal. Thank you, Izzy.
Here we go, yeah, ball down the channel. I mean, this is Manchester United when you're on the front foot. And there was times when they went pretty direct because Barnsley got after them. And that little pass again. But when you're in charge of the ball, it's a long, would you say a long punch upfield? Yeah, it was, and you chase it down. When you always put the teams under pressure. I mean, that cannot happen. That is such a poor turnover. But then it goes in. Your first thought from Garnacho was, can I find a pass forward? Yes. But you need a runner in behind. And when you get in that, it's a brilliant finish.
Exactly. The finish from Rashford, because he takes it early, that's why it's gone in at the near post. He just completely snaps at the ball. Nice clean finish along the floor. But that was a sort of a feature of Manchester United tonight. They were so sharp when they won the ball back. They looked forward straight away. And that's where they got their goals from.
His touch map as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he was all over. Well, I mean, that's what we talk about when we talked about him leading the line and running the channel.
You talk about transition. When you win the ball back, can you play forward? If you're going to play forward, you have to have runners. And that's Man United had that in abundance. Whoever it was picked the ball up in certain positions. There was always someone running in behind, and there was so much space. And I did not expect that when I first sat here on this show.
If you are a glass half empty person, you'll just go, well, it's League One opposition and this, that and the other, so you can't get too carried away. If you're going to be glass half full with this, Izzy, you're going, OK, that's 2 of a potential starting front 3. You wouldn't expect Anthony to start next, but Garnacho and Rashford, blossoming relationship, you know, on the front foot, you would, and you're wanting to see patterns of play as well.
Definitely, and coaches, managers are deep thinkers. They're thinking beyond the scoreline. They're thinking beyond, oh, it's 7-0, what a fantastic evening. There were some really good moments for Manchester United tonight, but I think what Ten Hag will be most impressed by was the professionalism and the sort of adherence to the task for Manchester United players. I think Anthony coming in, I mean, there was, you know, could have been a big night for him in terms of, you know, a little bit of pressure on him. He's got his start. You know, Ten Hag's been vocal about bringing him back into the team. He grabbed the ball, he took the penalty, and that surprised me. It surprised us on the sofa because we thought it'd be Rashford or perhaps Eriksen taking that penalty. But you look at the little things in it, and I saw a lot in that from the mindset of some of the Manchester United players to go, they're on it. They're absolutely on it. And the momentum they can take from tonight into the weekend's game against Crystal Palace, I think, you know, they're in a good place. You know, it's early days. I don't think anyone at Manchester United can get too carried away right now, but I think they're in a good place. The squad's looking really strong, and there's competition for places, not because of injury, because there's genuine competition. And
then the interesting thing about that will be, if you look at the competition for places, the role of Christian Eriksen for United this season. You know, he played the full game tonight. He scored 2 goals. Started at Southampton as well at the weekend. So in all the debates of United's midfield, it'll be interesting to see his role.
Well, this is the headache that Erik Ten Hag is going to have now, and comes up with a couple of goals. But you see as a midfielder, him and Casemiro in there, he's still striding forward late on in the game and gets his first goal. I mean, I played with Christian Eriksen. The ability that this player has and the quality, just there, the pace was on the ball. Didn't try and generate it, he was all in that pass. He opens his right foot out and gets his goal. He's such an intelligent player. He's not somebody who's going to be flying in. And even here, edge of the box, little touch, reverses it. His ball striking, his delivery, his passing, everything is crisp. Everything is done with pure quality.
Just watch Xerxes on this though. He doesn't, you know, snatch at anything. He's involved in the build-up, and I think we saw it against Southampton at the weekend. I thought he was fantastic. His link-up play was superb, and again there, he's not being a sort of, you know, strikers need to be selfish, but Xerxes in that situation, he's recognised. Eriksen's on the top of the box. Fernandes is involved. I'm going to create this so that the best opportunity to score arrives at the right person. And Eriksen, from that position, he probably not many better players in the Premier League when he's got space.
And he would thrive, would he, with Ugarte alongside him?
Yeah, I mean,
look, he thrives. I don't mean that he doesn't thrive anyhow, but what you may want him to do and the balance.
Yeah, you looked at Ugarte tonight. He did what he needed to do. It wasn't a game where they were ever going to be under pressure. I said that pre-game. Him and Casemiro there. When you come up against a a better team, and you're going to have to defend a little bit more when the attackers and there's a turnover, and then the transition from the opposite team, you then go, can Christian Eriksen deal with that with Mainu? That's where, for me, Ugati's in the team. Seen Christian Eriksen in the 10 position. He is unbelievable. He's a gifted player. I've seen it with my own eyes on many occasions. He can see a pass. He brings calmness. He keeps the ball when you need to slow the game down. He can speed it up. He's just a really, really intelligent footballer.
It's using him at the right times, I think. I think if Christian Eriksen is really honest with himself, I think if Manchester United were playing a Champions League final tomorrow, I don't think he'd be starting the game. But I think he's the type of player who will be used in bit parts, and I think he'll know that. And I think, of course, you want to play. Of course you do. But he's been at Manchester United, a while. I know he was linked with a move away in the summer, perhaps in January. Who knows? But he's done himself, proud, I guess, from Saturday's performance against Southampton. Tonight, coming in, being professional, doing exactly what you said, Dors, controlling the game, providing that sort of sprinkling of quality when needed. And he's the type of player you want in your squad. He's a brilliant footballer.
Erik, well done. 7 goals, clean sheet, a great performance. Your biggest win as a Man United manager. So what do you feel went so well in the game plan tonight?
First of all, difficult start, but once we found the shape, but it's not so weird because it's the first time this team is playing then together. But once we found the shape, the patterns, and then we scored some great goals. Started with Rashford, was a brilliant goal, I would say, but also some other goals were really, was very good outplayed with a lot of speed, and we were very, I would say, ruthless in front of the goal.
Yeah, before the match we were talking about chemistry. You mentioned the best chemistry between the starting 11. What was key for these link-ups to go so well in a team that had so many changes?
Yes, that the key was found the shape. And of course the right attitude, and they were 100% concentrated, and so they played very good, and I think it was enjoyable to watch, and I think also the fans they liked it, they appreciated it. You could feel again the good bond between the team and the fans, and we give the fans some nice goals.
Marcus Rashford, 2 more goals for him. You're there with him every day in the training ground. What does it feel different this season with him?
In my first season also, he had this vibe, this good mood. And when I see the teeth from Marcus Rashford, then I'm calm, I'm composed, and I'm confident that he will score.
But compared to last season, do you see a big difference in his attitude in the daily basis or his confidence in the games?
I think last season was for everyone difficult, but in the end we were there with the trophy. And last season, you can't forget this. But we had, by the end, we found our targets. We hit the targets we wanted to get, and this is what we aim for this season as well. And we want to progress, and we want to be better. So we are very ambitious, and we want to go forward as a team. And so also individual players, as Marcus Rashford, he wants to score goals, and that is what I saw. But not only Marcus Rashford, I saw the whole team, and they were really hungry and looking for goals.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about another player, Alejandro Garnacho. What a great performance from him as well. What is the next step, the next level that you expect from his progress?
That is, first of all, it's most important that we defend well as a team. And when we have that right aggressive attitude, then I know that those players, they will score goals. Because when we get them in the right spaces, they are very difficult to defend. They are so quick, they are so energetic, they are electric, they can be direct. So it's first of all, when the team cohesion is good, then they will score goals.
Manuel Ugarte, his full debut, what did you make of him?
I think it was good. Also for him, in the first minutes you have to find your position, and we have to, as a team, we have to find the right shape. But once we got it, then you see his level, and that he is really, he can really strengthen the squad and the team.
Of course, there is a gap between a Premier League side and a League One side, but there are upsets as well in these cups. So, what do you expect the team to take from tonight's performance, the strong performance you had?
That when we have the right shape, then we can find the spaces where we can play, and then we are really compact, and we can press as a team towards the ball, and then I think it's difficult for every team to play against us. So then we are hard to beat, and that is the way we should act.
Well done, Erik.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Shape or chemistry? I mean, I don't, what was it down to?
I think finding the right, not necessarily Manchester United shape, but finding out what Barnsley were doing, I think was the key. And Dorse alluded to it earlier, 15 minutes or so into the game, Barnsley were, they were right there. They were there or thereabouts. They were pressing high. They were playing well. Manchester United was sort of moving the ball side to side. Couldn't really find the right key to unlock, but I think they then discovered that the high line. And I think the chemistry comes from the relationships between players on the pitch. And we saw, well, I saw enough, sort of relationships that worked on the pitch tonight to give, sufficient evidence that there's something exciting to keep moving into the next few games with.
Go on.
I think it's seen things in the game management.
Right.
I'm sure Erik ten Hag might have been thinking, Barnsley are coming to our backyard, they're going to sit deep. I don't think Manchester United would surely have thought Barnsley are going to come straight after us and be on our front, on our toes from minute one. I really don't think that. So they had to deal with that. That might have been a surprise for them, thinking, how do we break it? There was times we were shouting, play wide. For me, the space was wide. Garnacho one side, Anthony another, and Marcus Rashford was free. And as soon as that ball got into either one of them three or into Eriksen, that was it. They broke the press, the press, sorry, and then they were in all kinds of trouble, Barnsley. And I just thought once it took 15 minutes to see that, play the ball over the top of the midfielders of Barnsley, he'd go into Christian Eriksen, he'd get on the half turn, play it wide, and then they just attacked. And they were so clinical and making the right pass at the right time. That's down to Manchester United's quality. But you've got to remember it was Barnsley that were playing.
But he mentioned shape 3 or 4 times in that interview. But did their shape look any different tonight to other United games that you've done this season?
I think the fullbacks didn't come inside tonight. We've seen with Dalot, he's come inside. Mazraoui's come inside at times to sort of overload the midfield area, which is, again, another fashionable trend in football that works when you get it right. And that's all done for the purpose of getting the attacking players higher up the pitch in more effective spaces to try and manipulate the opposition. And I think where Manchester United manipulated Barnsley tonight was the first goal. Eriksen standing in the middle of the pitch. Casemiro goes for, a relatively risky pass into Eriksen, chest height. He's chested the ball down and he's played it wide to Garnacho. All 4 Barnsley players in the centre of the pitch were drawn towards Eriksen, and automatically Manchester United just have the space, the overload. The ball switched to Rashford and then they've used the space. And I think that's where, if you think about a Manchester United team under Ten Hag, I mean, there's been, many conversations over the last 2 or 3 years around, what's their style of play, how do they play? It's about they're being direct. Now, translate this into a Premier League fixture, they won't get that much space, ever. They will not get that amount of space, especially in behind, unless the game is super transitional, which is unlikely. So it's how they get those players into those positions whilst manipulating the opponent at a higher level. That's the challenge, and that's Ten Hag's challenge, to find the players that work together that are able to find those spaces.
Even in the discussion about Marcus Rashford there, he went back to winning a trophy last season. Are we going to be in a cycle when discussing Manchester United now on trophy or league position, particularly if they continue to do well in the cup competitions that they're in this season? And what would you take?
Well, I'm listening to that and thinking you don't need to keep reminding us. We all talk about how well he did in the FA Cup last year when we all thought they were underdogs against Manchester City. The year before, winning this cup, the Carabao Cup. But ultimately, they were 8th in the Premier League last year. And that's your bread and butter for Manchester United. They have to be challenging for Champions League. People might be sat at home thinking, challenging for Champions League? No, we're challenging for titles. This is Manchester United, but they are so far off challenging for titles, in my opinion. Their aim has to be, can we get into the top 4 consistently? And then can we try and break that? But for me, there's still a long way off. Tonight is a positive. They can take the positives out of it, but you've got to realise it is a League One team, and we'll see come Crystal Palace at the weekend, because we've seen when Fulham went to Old Trafford, they didn't blow them away. They could quite easily have lost the game. Yes, they won. They went away to Brighton, lost 2-1. and then they play against a good team in the Premier League, a top team in Liverpool, and when they turn the ball over, they get isolated, and Liverpool just punish them. Tonight's a positive, very clinical going forward, but it's a bigger game come the Premier League, and we can't keep going on about winning FA Cup or a Carabao Cup. Manchester United have to be challenging for titles.
Trophies or league?
I can't argue with what Dorsa said. I think Champions League, bare minimum 4th place has to be minimum requirement. And I think Manchester United is a team which is associated with the elite in Europe. And I think they need to be back there. I think they've got a squad that needs to be there, that can be there. I think it's about, Ten Hag's just alluded to it there in his interview with Natalie, about, you know, sort of imposing a style, but also progressing, the ambition, the hunger. These are all words that he's just said. They're all things that we need to start seeing on a consistent basis that matches or if you like, closes the gap to the top, to the elite, the Arsenals, the Manchester Cities in this league at the moment, the Liverpools, you know, you could put them into that category as well. They need to get closer, and that doesn't necessarily mean going after winning. It means going after significant progress to build that sort of solid team to make sure you're ready to compete in the next years to come.
Difficult night for Barnsley. Let's get the thoughts of their manager. Here's Darrell Clark with Natalie.
Really tough evening tonight. Why do you feel Man United was able to get so comfortable throughout the match?
Listen, they're a quality team, but we're very disappointed in our performance. We haven't done ourselves justice. That was my fear tonight coming here. A lot of my players had an off day. Maybe one player, Mal, probably comes out of the game with credit, but not an acceptable performance for us. I know it's a big occasion, you know, against a very, very good team. I get that, and they turn it on against Premier League teams, but it's a huge wake-up call for me to the players to understand what it takes to be a top player. If I ever hear one of my players tell me Premier League players are watching a game and they're saying they're poor, I'll be giving them a slap, because they're miles off. We were miles off against a team that can absolutely destroy you when you're not at it.
You feel it was more a case of a mental switch off?
Yeah, just decision makings. We give sloppy goals away. We're doing crazy decisions when we're under the cosh. We're always chasing the game. So listen, it's a frustrating night. I've got to be careful, because I've got to understand where we're at and why. But I also set standards at this football club, and we've gone below than what I require today, even if it is against Man United. But big shout out to my fans. Fans were absolutely magnificent. You know, what turning up in the numbers and clapping the boys off, which, to be honest with you, I don't think they deserved it. None of us did. But to stick with us and stay with us, that's full credit to them. They were the winners tonight. We have to learn from that as a group. The players have to learn and understand what it takes to be a top player. It's not just match days, it's every single days of their lives. And if they want to kick on their careers and certainly want to stay at Barnsley, they need to be doing a lot more.
Yeah, in terms of the way you could be defending against Man United, of course, when they have talented players like Garnacho and Rashford inspired, it's hard to keep up with the link-ups. But you feel it was more a matter of attitude and putting those bodies out there?
It's more for giving the silly goals away with bad decisions, being loose on the ball. Listen, I'm not for 1 minute saying my boys didn't have a good go, but the fact of the matter is that when you're coming up against a quality team, you've got to make good decisions, and some of the things are going off plan, making decisions we shouldn't have been making. I've got one or two experienced boys out there that should know better, so we have to learn. Listen, it's been a good run in the competition for us. You know, the club's made some decent money on it, but we're disappointed in our performance tonight.
Yeah, talking about this learning, what do you feel that the team needs to take from here, and what do they have to just leave it aside and forget?
Listen, we're never going to win a Carabao Cup. This is with the greatest respect. If you know, and coming here is always going to be a difficult night for us. But I think the manner in which we gave our goals away is a frustrating thing. And what we have to come away from is the players have to understand what they need to be a top player. You know, our league's our bread and butter. We want to get out of the league this year, and we need to be putting in obviously a lot better performance than that today. But we don't play the teams of that standard today. So there's a sense of realism in that as well. We're not going to come up against that quality week in, week out. But we also have to learn from it as a group.
Thank you, Darren.
We'll start in the Champions League, which sort of had to take a back seat in the last 15 minutes or so, but there were some big stories here. Liverpool coming from behind to win in Milan against AC Milan in Arne Slot's first Champions League match in charge. Konate, Van Dijk and Szoboszlai for Liverpool. Bayern Munich becoming the first team in Champions League history to score 9 in a game. They thrashed Dinamo Zagreb 9-2. Harry Kane scoring 4, the first man to score a hat-trick of penalties in a Champions League match. Juventus beating PSV 3-1 on their return to Europe's top competition. Real Madrid were pegged back to 1-1 by Stuttgart, but goals from Rudiger and Endrick, their 18-year-old superstar Brazilian on his Champions League debut, saw them through 3-1. Sporting beat Lille 2-0. England's Angel Gomez sent off in that game. And Aston Villa on their return to the top European club competition for the first time in 41 years. Very good night. They won 3-0 away to Young Boys. Had a couple of goals disallowed as well. What a night in the Carabao Cup third round. Sheffield Wednesday winning at Blackpool 1-0. Brentford coming from behind to knock out League One Leyton Orient 3-1. Southampton triumphing in the all-Premier League tie at Goodison. 1-1 it finished in 90 minutes. Everton giving up another lead. Decore put them in front. Taylor Harwood-Bellis equalised before the break. Ashley Young, the man to miss the decisive penalty as Southampton progress 6-5. Manchester United thumping Barnsley 7-0. 2 for Rashford, 2 for Garnacho, a couple for Eriksen. Anthony scoring a penalty. Then that incredible, epic shootout at Deepdale. Preston winning 16-15, so they've sprung a surprise there. Palace winning 2-1 at QPR. Ezes deflected shot on his return to QPR, the decisive goal. And Stoke beating Fleetwood, who'd equalised in the 91st minute, the League Two side taking it to penalties. But Charlie Adam on his return to Stoke, well, undone in the end by 2 successful penalties. That was a low-quality shootout compared to the one we saw at Deepdale.